champion has been crowned in the Magna One Motorsports Husqvarna rider Jordan Ashburn, but one round remains, and carrying the momentum into the offseason and 2023 season is on the line. GNCC on MAV TV starts now.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing!
Hello and welcome to the season finale of the 2022 Grand National Cross Country Race Series presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. We're here in Crawfordsville, Indiana for the Yamaha Racing Ironman GNCC. Mikey Wayne's here, taking you through today's racing action, and we begin, as always, with that Specialized race recap. Round number 12. It was a 989 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Thad Duvall grabbing that whole shot and early lead. He would be challenged by the 212 Coastal Racing Factory gas ride of Ricky Russell. Good start for him as well. Craig DeLong toward the back of the pack, but overall pretty good day. As the race began to develop, the champion for 2022, Jordan Ashburn, found himself out front. Thad Duvall still having a great race. Great ride by Josh Toth early in this one as well. The diesel, Baylor heavy, began to pick things up as the race got into the meat of the day and would start chipping away right there with the lead pack. And as we got down to the nitty-gritty, Stu Baylor went to work, to say the least. Would end up challenging for the lead. Ricky Russell trying to hold him off the Coastal Racing gas ride, but just Stu Baylor refusing to be denied. Eventually would find himself out in front through the woods there in West Virginia at the Buckwheat 100 and would never look back. Put on a pretty good lead for the rest of the pack. A little gap developed and turned into a bigger gap, but nonetheless, Stu Baylor, after a season where he battled injuries early, was able to come away with a win. Throws his hands up. Where is everybody? He says. Where is everyone? Don't know where they're at. But he comes in for, I believe, his second win of the season. Solid closing few rounds here for Stu Baylor. Matter of fact, we had a chance to catch up with the Ampro Yamaha ride of Stu Baylor after the race.
Really good racing, but it was tough to make moves out there, and finally just little things. I was frustrated. I thought we were going to do an early pit strategy to get through the guys. I knew this was going to be one of those tracks, and then after cussing out my pit crew, which I owe them an apology, I think that fired me up. That was what turned it up, and I started pushing, and you know, when I start seeing red, I start riding fast. So luckily I saw Ricky had that mistake on the hill. I kind of hesitated, found the line, scanned the line, and attacked what I had to. And from there, it was just trying not to make mistakes, and wasn't really pushing. I felt like I wasn't even breathing. But this was one of those tracks where anytime you got ahead of yourself, you would end up on your head. So no crashes today, no tip overs, nothing, which is better than the last couple of years here. You know, we had a win here by default, but this is the first official win here. BK beat me technically both times. So bummer he's not here. I would have liked to at least see if I could have run with him today. But nonetheless, fun track and a lot of fun racing out there.
Now taking a look at the results, Baylor finishing in the first place position, Jordan Ashburn finishing in the 2 spot. And how about it for Craig DeLong, the 342 Rockstar Husky rider? Not the best start for him, able to end up on the box at the end of the day. So we fast forward to today, and here we go. The waving of the green flag from Ricky Towery in the XC1 Open Pro class, jockeying for position, battling for that all balls racing hole shot. The 212 with a good drive. That is Ricky Russell out front, and he'll take that all balls racing hole shot right there. Followed closely by the 989 of Thad Duvall and the 514 of Stu Baylor. Josh Toth in the mix, as well as Craig DeLong. Craig coming off that third place finish, a round to go into the woods now. And it is Ricky Russell On the 2-1-2 Coastal Racing Factory gas ride, leading the way, Baylor and Duvall in second and third. We are off and rolling with the XC1 class. Ricky Russell trying to capture a win. I believe that would be Ricky Russell's second win of the season if he can hang on for it. Had a win back in round 8. XC2 250 Pro Stasic hole shot up for grabs. Riders jockeying for position there. Boy, that looked like the 802. It is of Simon Johnson grabbing that Stasic hole shot. Good challenge right there by the 115 of Mason Simmons early in this one. Oh boy, great hole shot right there by Simon Johnson. Into the woods we go now, and I think that's the 981 right there of Jonathan Johnson leading the way. What a way to close out the season for Jonathan Johnson. If he can put together a race as good as this start, only finished on the box one time this year. A win here today would be a huge confidence boost for him as we head into the offseason after today. And here we go with the FMF XC3, your 125 Pro-Am class. Just no sound like it in the world. Love it. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. LoJack Cycle Sales Hole Shot Award up for grabs. That is the 715 of Mac Reimer grabbing that hole shot and early lead. And Mac kind of looking around saying, where you guys at? Let's go. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is only Mac's second ride in this XC3 class. And woo, getting challenged right there. Good things going on in the XC3. Mac Reimer finished last round with a 5th. Maybe today's a day he finishes on the box in that XC3 125 class. Certainly would be a good way to head into next season, carrying a little bit of that confidence. Back out front with the leaders, and it is the 2-1-2 of Ricky Russell still leading the way. Got a little bit of a gap now on Stu Baylor, who sits in that 2 spot aboard the Ampro Yamaha. Baylor looking good early, and gotta say, Baylor, one of those guys, usually takes him a little bit to get warmed up. Him being this close to the front might be bad news for everybody else. That is Thad Duvall having a great ride, sitting in the 3 spot right now. And Thad could really use a good ride to close out the season. Toth, Craig DeLong, solid rides from them so far, but things slowly beginning to take shape, already getting a little bit of a gap. But nonetheless, Ricky Russell, your leader. Can he hang on and grab his second win of the season? We'll be right back with more GNCC after this.
Coverage of the Grand National Cross Country Championship on MAV TV is brought to you in part by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC here on MAV TV. Looking at our leader. Ricky Russell out in front on the 2-1-2 Factory Racing Coastal Gas. And here we go, Stu Baylor in the number 2 spot, getting the lines pointed out to him, and he loops the bike out. A common sight here at Ironman, no doubt about that. Stu getting some help from the mud fleas. Right now we can call them dust fleas, but this is just a common sight at Ironman, and let's see if Stu Baylor can get back on that machine, or is he going to give up a position? He is. There he goes. Ooh, maybe. Boy, great riding right there by Thad Duvall in that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. And there goes Josh Toth. Man, Josh Toth keeping it on 2 wheels, looking absolutely methodical through there. There goes Craig DeLong. Oh, boy. So we were singing the praises of Stu Baylor early in this one, having the hot start, sitting in the 2 spot. And Baylor, I believe, has been able to get back on the machine and rolling. But nonetheless, lost at least a couple of positions. And here we go, a new leader. That's Thad Duvall out in front, unless we missed Ricky Russell. I believe it is the 989, and it is, because there's Josh Toth in the 2 spot. Let's see where Ricky Russell's located. There is Stu Baylor. So maybe we missed. Yeah, we must have missed Ricky Russell. Well, all right. Nobody panic. The 2-1-2 still out in front. He's just rolling that well that we didn't pick him up in that last camera shot. But nonetheless, Ricky Russell running out front. Thad Duvall now in the 2 spot. A good position for Thad Duvall and really Ricky Russell as well. And here comes Josh Toth in the number 3 position. Taking a look, Ricky Russell, missed a couple of rounds this year and has battled some injuries off and on. He's made the podium. He's had, matter of fact, 3 podiums with the 1 win this season back in round number 8, but has not been on the podium since back in round 9. So really wants to carry some momentum into the offseason. No Jordan Ashburn today. The champ, he's already got the championship wrapped up and has a bit of a small lingering injury that wasn't necessarily something that would normally keep him away from racing, but he said, hey, the championship's wrapped up. I don't want to risk injuring that any worse than it already is, so I'm going to sit this one out. Completely understandable, like we said, the championship's wrapped up. You got nothing to prove out there in the last round, but this does open up the window of opportunity for guys like Ricky Russell, Thad Duvall, Craig DeLong, as well as Stu Baylor even. Stu Baylor's battled injuries all year. All these guys talk about carrying that momentum into the offseason. Johnny Gerard stepping up to the XC1 here today. We'll see how he does. Oh, and it's bad news for Thad Duvall back in the pits, and reports are that's going to do it for him for the day. So, boy, a heartbreaker. The 989 was rolling here today, but unfortunate for him. Sidelined for the rest of the day, looks like. But here we go. Ricky Russell capitalizing and moving out front, still in the lead in this one. See how it plays out as it rolls on, but looks like Ricky Russell enjoying a little bit of breathing room right now as we see Stu Baylor going back to work. And he is followed fairly closely by the 342 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Craig DeLong. Good ride going for him. Johnny Gerard in the 969. Coastal Racing Gas. Lyndon Snodgrass in the mix from the XC2 class. Here we go, the 212, Ricky Russell on the move. Just looking flawless through the woods at Ironman. And no company, at least not that close. That is going to be the 206 of Josh Toth and the 514 of Stu Baylor. Baylor really riding with some purpose right there, as is Craig DeLong. Those guys want to get caught up with Josh Toth there, get in the fight for those podium positions. Looking good. Johnny Gerard doing very well. Gerard having a good run here early in this one. Looking good, and you got to hand it to Lyndon Snodgrass, your leader of the XC2 class right now, really up in that fight with the XC1 pros as we follow our leader again, now getting into a little bit of lap traffic. Ricky Russell, no problems for him. Lapper does a good job of moving to the side and allowing Ricky Russell to roll by, kick a little dust up. And here comes Stu Baylor. Baylor, yes, will be in your number 2 spot now. So Baylor has gotten around Josh Toth. We saw the sense of urgency in Stu Baylor as he was approaching Josh Toth. Let's see if Toth is still in third. I believe it is. Yes, Josh Toth in the number 3 spot, the 206 factory KTM. But boy, does he have some company, and Craig DeLong just behind him as Josh Toth wisely kicks up a little dust. Was it on purpose? I don't know. Was he just holding his line, racing the track in front of him? Entirely possible, but nonetheless forces Craig to check up a bit. Snodgrass still right there with the boys, hanging with them. Into the pits we go now for Ricky Russell, the 212. His mechanic, DK, with the quick fill. In goes the fuel. Get a little rehydration. And back to work for Ricky Russell. Let's see, Russell should still be your leader in that one. I believe he is. We got him on camera right here, rolling out front. Into the sunlight. What a difference a year makes. We go back one season ago, and it was the mutter that was claiming bikes, and it was just a battle of the rider versus the track. We fast forward a year, and look at that. We're kicking up dust. How about it? Stu Baylor in the 2 spot. There goes Josh Toth in third. Oh, Toth's got some company, though. There is Craig DeLong. DeLong now inching closer to showing him that front wheel, letting him know he is here for that final podium position. Ricky Russell back on screen. Still your leader out in front. Russell having an incredible ride, just really putting some distance between him and Stu Baylor in the 2 spot. Baylor working to get around some lap traffic right there. And here comes Craig DeLong into the 3 spot. So Craig DeLong, the 342 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, finds himself in the number 3 position. And Josh Toth falls 1 position back to 4th, just off the box, as Toth will go back to work and try to catch up with Craig DeLong. Love this shot right here. Ricky Russell, well, they call him rough and rowdy, right? Fitting. Fitting right through here. No problems for Ricky Russell. Look at this man. Just one with the machine, flowing with the track, really hitting his marks. And Stu Baylor will get some more of the same. I got no doubt about it. Yes, just looking good through that section. Baylor going to get the pit board right here, let him know what that gap is between him and Ricky Russell. And Baylor goes back to work into the open field section, carry a little bit more speed. Always very cool to see our XC1 Pro guys, Craig DeLong moving through now in the line choices. We can see it a lot of times on the drone. You got to keep in mind. Oh, and look at this. Josh Toth in the pits now. The jersey off. Grabbing a drink. Not a good sign for Josh Toth. Boy, that is unfortunate. Well, GNCC, hey, more than just racing. Ironman, there's so much going on that sometimes we forget there's an actual race to be had. But nonetheless, Monster Energy stage last night, putting on an absolute show for the fans that were out in droves. Great event. There's always concerts on Friday and Saturday night. If you've never been to, doing it, grandma's, getting it done at the GNCC. Always fun. We'll be back with more.
Coverage of the Grand National Cross Country Championship on MAV TV is brought to you in part by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Welcome back to GNCC here on MAV TV. Ricky Russell, still your leader out in front. The man has been pretty well flawless to this point. Stu Baylor in the number 2 spot. And Craig DeLong, the 342 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, up into the number 3 position. If you're just tuning in, no Jordan Ashburn today. Ashburn electing not to race due to not a serious injury, but nonetheless a nagging injury that not necessarily wanting to risk going out there and further injuring that after having wrapped up this national championship. Also, Thad Duvall, some mechanical issues, and same situation for Josh Toth, some issues with him as well. So both of those riders out of this one. But hey, how about it? Ricky Russell, he has been absolutely flawless here today, wanting to bring it in for a win. I've seen some great riding out of Johnny Gerard stepping up into the XC1 ranks. And Ricky Russell, again, just hats off to him. The Coastal Racing factory gas ride, Ricky Russell really turning it on here late. Stu Baylor had a pretty good start, went down as we saw earlier in the show, but has went to work and finds himself back up into the number 2 spot. He's going to have enough for Ricky Russell here late. Don't know about that, but nonetheless, it's been a stellar ride for Stu Baylor and Craig DeLong. What a ride for him, and here we go. Ricky Russell gonna bring it in for the checkered flag and let the fans know he is the man here at the Ironman GNCC. A fist in the air, and rightfully so. An absolutely well-earned win here for Ricky Russell. That man is going to be stoked on wrapping up the season in such epic fashion. Big congratulations all around. Ricky looking like he's still got some left in the tank. The man was on fire here today to close out the season. Ani there to congratulate him.
No doubt. I won one, but there were so many I let slip away, which is so frustrating. And today I was like, don't do it again. I was just kind of managing the race. I got a good start. This gas fire up awesome. Got the whole shot and kind of just got away early and just was able to manage that gap. I kept getting pit boards and it kept staying about the same. And man, that last lap felt long because I was trying to baby it and stay out of the silt, but wanted to get to the finish sooner than later.
And here comes the 514 Ampro Yamaha of Stu Baylor, who will bring it in for a second-place finish here today. Stu coming off that win in round number 12, backing it up with another podium performance, finishing in the 2 spot.
I think this Ironman race produces a lot of lappers that aren't used to being passed by guys of our caliber, and with the conditions today, like guys will just stop mid-corner, and the worst thing you can do is slow down in the silt. So it was pretty difficult, but yeah, I just kind of cruised for the most part, and then I saw Craig was getting close, and I put my head down there for the last half of that last lap. But definitely had a little bit more in the tank, but you know, the hill climb that they threw in this week is the reason for my early terrible pace, a minute down. Last week it cost Ricky the race, so no, it was good all in all. I had a good day. It was dry. God, it was dry.
Well, taking a look at the results, a Gas, a Yamaha, and a Husqvarna. And how about that? A Cowie in 4th, a KTM in 5th. Just about represented all of the major brands. Love it.
I ate a lot of dust, that's for sure. But I feel all right. Track was rough, man. It wasn't like big soft holes like we normally have here, but it was just like hitting curves, just curve after curve, and man, it was rough on your body. So I struggled to kind of get going there in the beginning, and I got my way into 3rd, and I didn't pit the 1 lap and stretched it, and I caught up to Stu, which I think helped me to get that gap. And when I got close to him, it seemed like he was dragging his feet in front of me. So it's tough to kind of get right up on him. But man, I'm happy to end on a podium, and second for the year is way more than what I expected coming in, and yeah, pretty happy.
Well, we take a look at our Specialized race recap here for the final round in 2022, the Ironman GNCC, the XC1, jockeying for position early. Coastal Racing Factory Gas ride, Ricky Russell will grab the whole shot and carry that early lead into the woods. Great start by the 514 of Stu Baylor. Thad Duvall, Craig had a good one going. This was just all around great start for everybody. Johnny Gerard doing his thing in the XC1 here today. Very cool to see. And how about this? Ricky Russell keeps it on 2 wheels. Stu Baylor, just a bit outside. He was just left to watch and wait and wonder and rely on the mud fleas, who had no problem helping out Stu as Stu trudges back over to the bike, was able to finally get it going. Didn't lose too many spots, though. So pretty good recovery for Stu Baylor. As the race wore on, I don't know what else to say. It was a Ricky Russell show today. Ricky really showing no signs of letting up or slowing down. And Stu Baylor had a great ride, but just did not have enough in the tank to catch back up with Ricky Russell and get in the fight for a win. It was Ricky Russell's race to win. It was his to lose, and he just would not be denied as he methodically rode the track, flowed with the track, looked flawless pretty much all race. Stu Baylor again trying to catch back up to the man, and what a ride by Craig DeLong as well, sitting in that 3 spot. Great way to close out the season for Craig, and even better way to close out the season for Ricky Russell, grabbing a win here at Ironman to close out the year. A happy man as he heads into the offseason. What is next for Ricky Russell? Well, folks, that is going to do it for us here at the Yamaha Racing Ironman GNCC. Congratulations to Ricky Russell. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.